And Diana happened to mention, and I said, hey, let me in on that. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, hold on there, Spud. Who else? There's Diana. I tried to cancel it because I'm having internet issues.
Okay.
Hey, Spud, I'm having serious internet issues. Maybe we just don't.
What happened?
How are you? I don't know. Diana.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Hi, Spud. How's it going?
Can you hear me okay?
We can do it without live streaming. I'm having Facebook issues. So, yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. I'm using a different microphone this time, so I thought I'd give it a shot.
And you got earphones on.
Well, that's so that actually I should test this. It's mostly so that the sound doesn't come back and cycle back through the microphone.
Nice.
Oh, hi, Ginger.
Hi, Diana.
Hi.
I said,
how is everyone doing?
I'm cold because our temperature is 29 degrees outside. That's what it feels like. So I have my Scotty Puffy thing on for the last time this season. Okay?
wishful thinking, I would say.
Well, okay, so I'm taking over. Okay? I don't care about live streaming.
So what's new, right?
Huh?
So what's new?
Shush.
I'll be right back.
Okay, let me tell you the story.
Hold on, please, Diana. Please wait 1 second.
No,
I apologize. Brittany, are you there? Can you please?
Yeah. Yep, I'm here.
Brittany, let me share my screen with you. We have a nice group of people here, so we can continue, but I can't seem to get anything going on with Facebook because I don't know what's going on. So let's.
Oh shoot.
So here I am on Facebook,
Yeah.
as you can see, but I don't know what you want me to cut and paste or do. I finally got it to load.
You just need to go right here to the create, go live right there.
Okay.
I don't know how you attach the Zoom. I've never done that, but yeah, you need to go live in the main Facebook page right there. And then I text you something that you can use if you want to use it.
Okay, so my concern is see how slow it is?
Yeah.
I just think it's not gonna.
Maybe it might buffer too much or just cut out.
So what we'll do is we'll just have a nice, lovely conversation.
Okay, then I'm taking over.
Diana, can you kindly wait 1 second? I apologize. Brittany, you can, if you want to just put the Zoom link in the invitation and say, you guys, we're having a fun conversation and please join in and we'll post it from there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then let's begin unless Brittany, you have anything else. Otherwise we're going to let Diana.
Nope. And I will mute myself.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
So travel goes back a long time with me because I started traveling when I was 3. So there was no SCOTTeVEST when we went to Africa with Laura, and this is a million years ago. So instead of having a SCOTTeVEST, I had to put these bracelets in a suitcase to come home. Then there was SCOTTeVEST, I think, maybe a year or 2 before SCOTTeVEST, and I was in Cambodia. And I wish that there wasn't a SCOTTeVEST, and this is like 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 20 more than that. And I don't know, I found this in my house the other day. This is from Cambodia, a water bottle that would have been great in a SCOTTeVEST. Why did I bring it home? We don't know. But what I've done is, I'm not telling you how I loaded my SCOTTeVEST. I'm telling you how I loaded it to come home from wherever I was. So this came home with me. And then I met this cute little man in Angkor Wat he was doing these things. He was carving them. And he liked me. I don't know why. He was about 100 years old. He had no teeth. He spoke no English, but we communicated. And I brought this home. And about 8 years ago, I was back in Cambodia in Angkor Wat, and I went to the same place where this little old man was, and they told me he died the month before I got there. So that could have gone in my SCOTTeVEST. The other thing that could have gone in my SCOTTeVEST is when we went to China the first time. Do you know
China.
what these are?
China.
Ginger may know what these are. Do you know what these are?
Those are glasses.
No, you put lipstick in them.
Yeah.
And I still have many of them, if anybody wants them, gift wrapped from China. So the last time I was in China 6 years ago, my friends are getting older, I'm getting older, and they like mirrors to put their lipstick on. So I bought a whole bunch of these compacts with a cute little, you know, they put in their purse. I forgot to give them all away. So now I have that. Then some of the other funny things I could put in my SCOTTeVEST. This is from, can you see, Cuba from many years ago. This would have been nice instead of an iPad. This could have gone in my SCOTTeVEST. It didn't go. So then I was somewhere else a few years ago, which definitely was SCOTTeVEST. And can you see who this is?
No, who is that?
Gaddafi.
Yeah, Gaddafi.
Omar. And this is his Bible, which I brought home. We were allowed to take it out of the country. And he's dead and I'm not. Now, do I have anything else? Yes, my last big trip, you know, for my birthday. I had a big birthday 2 years ago. And I decided I'm not going anywhere else.
Birthday? How big? How big?
How big? I forgot. Because I'm so old, I forgot. Actually, I was 80. And I'm going to be 82 July 4th and send me birthday cards. So on my last trip, I did have a SCOTTeVEST, and I also collect shopping bags, which my daughter can tell you all about. And
It's
I was
weird.
in
It's very
a
weird.
department store in Ulaanbaatar, and I bought this, which is something to put your mouse on. So if I had had a SCOTTeVEST all these years, can you imagine? I could have loaded it and it would have been flat and I would have had room for lipstick. Ginger, do you want one of these?
Sure.
Sure, no you don't. So that is my story. And I'm very happy I have a SCOTTeVEST because then when I go to Sun Valley, I can load it with all the gifts they're going to give me.
No gifts. We have a no gift policy for you. We have a gift policy for everyone else, but you get no gifts until I get the keys. No gifts.
I'll get you water skis.
I
Boy.
Can you tell that he really likes me?
So who else? We have Spud and Ginger and we have Alex in the room. We've got a nice little group here. So
Who's Lois's iPad?
Your friend Lois.
Oh, hi, Lois. She's a friend of mine, and she travels a lot, too. And she has a poodle.
do you have a camera, Lois?
I have no makeup for 7 weeks.
Oh, but she's beautiful.
So I'm just listening and enjoying.
Okay.
And she's in Florida with her
Oh,
poodle.
How are you, Alex? We've seen you before.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, last time I was on, I was mentioning about the cat grooming place. So I went to my doctor and asked, what's the deal? It's for allergy shots and for allergy testing. So it's nothing exotic. They would use the hair to make the allergy tests
Oh.
for people to find out if they're allergic to cats or not.
I am.
Your
You were
eye,
right, Diana. You had said it's probably for allergy testing.
Diana's often right.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure, just ask her and she'll tell you she's often right. That's the Diana.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Spud, how are you? And who is Ginger?
I'm doing okay. We're still here in San Francisco. We're actually having a heat wave, for what it's worth.
Oh, wow.
I mean, our version of a heat wave means that it gets 75. But understand that I live near the Mission, which is always about 8 to 10 degrees warmer than downtown San Francisco. We have these crazy microclimates. So, you know, it'll be somewhere between 75 and 80 here today, which for us is, you got to remember, none of us have air conditioning. We just don't use air conditioning for the most part because we got, it's San Francisco. But come October, September and October, which is our version of Indian summer, that's when we find out that we really ought to have air conditioning just for 1 month a year or so. It's also warm here because I'm in my front room where the sun hits in the morning, and the lighting is great, but it's a little toasty to be working in. I posted, I think, on Facebook yesterday a picture of the area that I'm using to work in at the moment, and encouraged other people to put out their pandemic workspace, because everybody's working from home now, and I'd be curious to see what some of those spaces are like. But yeah, otherwise I'm doing great.
Yeah, good lighting. You look svelte. You look fantastic. Are you drinking this early?
Yes, I am. This is the leftover from Cinco de Mayo, and I'm celebrating Ocho de Mayo. So
Besides, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
exactly. Might be London, but still.
Yeah.
Before the show last time, I partook a little bit just to chill myself out, and I actually did read an article that they're finding that cannabis might be helpful in the coronavirus. By the way, now that we're
Boy,
off topic.
that would be exciting news for a lot of people.
Well, that would explain why I haven't been affected. I've been treating myself nightly, for boredom, and I didn't realize that treating myself for boredom was having the intended, effect of treating myself for Corona. So
Yeah, well, we're actually we're probably going to get the antibody test at some point, just because both Ann and I, my wife Ann and I, had a cold in December that lasted into January, and I thought it was walking pneumonia, because I had a fever and I had everything else, and eventually it went away. They gave me some medication, the antibiotics, whatever it was, for like bacterial bronchitis. But there's actually a possibility that I've already had this. So Ann and I, once the test becomes affordable and available, and I'm going to take an antibody test just to find out.
Well, I think it is affordable and available. Go to Quest, Quest, and online. And Laura and I took it, and it was $50.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and I think that health insurance covered it. Unfortunately, we failed, so we have not had the virus, but we thought, assuming the test is accurate, and just like you, we were able to identify, really bad flu and cold or whatever, and thought for sure that we had it. And I was already, pretending I was Superman and immune, and ready to go. I was ready to hug people. The day before I got my results, I was ready to hug strangers. I'm a hugger.
You'll just have to do more cannabis.
Exactly.
I'm working on it.
Hi, David. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What is it? What does your shirt say?
Neville Brothers, New Orleans. I love
Ginger and David is my cousin that I met in Mongolia for the first time. And Ginger's husband is from New Orleans, and he's quite prominent there.
So why did you have a family reunion in Mongolia?
You're right. Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Because it's everybody. It's a new travel. It's a new travel scenario where you meet up with a long lost relative in a foreign country that you didn't know. Just kidding.
David, I'm glad to see I'm not the only one who needs a haircut. And Spud, your hair is looking fine, and Alex looks like you're maintaining yourself.
No, I just took a shower about an hour ago, so it's looking good.
Well, I just took a shower too, but I got to the point about, I want to say 2.5, 3 weeks ago, where I couldn't take it anymore, and We ordered some clippers online and got them, and we watched 100 YouTube videos on how to cut hair.
You did
And,
good.
Yeah.
Ann
Looks
did a great
good.
job. Ann did a great job. And the only thing is I'm starting to need it again because, you know, it might be a while before they open up the hair places.
I'm 9 days away until I get this. Who do we have here? Angela. Nice to meet Angela. Angela.
Angela. Oh, what school did he go to?
Oh my God. Ginger, and are you Diana's neighbor? Is that right?
Well, I was going to say that I just spend time on Zoom searching out groups that have people named Spike or Spud or anyone wearing a Neville Brothers sweatshirt. But indeed, I am a neighbor, Diana, and I love to get in trouble together. We've kind of taken over our little group of townhomes in Chicago, and to go along with it.
Which house are you? Are you our old house or?
No, Diana.
She's Carla's old house, the other end. You met Carla. I brought it to your house, Ginger. Yeah.
We have to be separated or we would really do harm. So, but I have to get my phone. I was going to warn you that spam risk. I was going to warn you that I have to leave early, so I'm just going to leave without.
Tell us why you have to leave early.
Because I'm playing Mahjong virtual. I play canasta virtual and Mahjong, but one of my canasta or Mahjong ladies let us all know about the test, which indeed it is quite easy to get and it is covered by insurance. So
the antibody test?
Anybody who wants to test gets a test. That's,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to vote for him. Okay, but no politics. No politics.
What's the theme for today? If the theme is not politics, what's today's theme?
No. But I have a suggestion for the next time we all get together, because in Chicago, we have to carry different things in our SCOTTeVEST because we're often mugged in downtown Chicago.
Often, like daily? How often are you mugged?
Every other day.
Yeah, every other day. You know, we're of the muggable age. So I thought maybe we could go into stay-at-home SCOTTeVEST uses. You know, not just traveling, but like our alarms to protect us from muggers and different things like that. That's just my suggestion for another one.
All right. Well, Laura's writing it down. If I can get the technical difficulties, worked out in advance, maybe we'll do another one or two.
Well, also my college roommate wrote to you yesterday that she lives in Fort Worth and they want shorts for older people so they can put their dog, they're all dog walking people, and they want something for the plastic bags and their keys. Oh, Laura's going to address this.
Yes, want specific dog walking shorts. And if we do it, we have to name it after the female poodle, Pepper Ann.
Her name is Pepper Ann, yes.
Pepper Ann, she's really cute.
Okay, Pepper Ann,
Pepper Ann short.
Yes, because Lynn and Pepper Ann's mother Susan want SCOTTeVEST dog walking shorts.
Ginger, that's my daughter.
I know.
Oh.
You weren't going to introduce me to her when she was in town.
She was in town for 12 minutes.
Yeah, I insisted on barging in and saying hello because I suspected she didn't exist. So, yeah.
I want to, because all of you folks are cooped up. We're open. We're wide open.
No, you're not.
So I got a massage yesterday. I went out for lunch. And
all we have done is we took the poodles to the groomer. That was
solid.
Yeah.
And Scott,
they're looking good, by the way.
Scott actually went out for lunch. with our friend Mike, that they had to
Outside.
sit outside 6 feet apart.
And we had to eat our lunch with our mask on, which was, but we're otherwise wide open, you know.
I went out to lunch yesterday with my hairdresser. We walked up to Halsted Street and we went to the Goose something brewery and
Goose
ordered
Island.
a cheeseburger and I had pulled pork. And we sat on the steps of Patagonia, the store, 6 feet apart and had lunch. He said, tell everybody you ate in the executive dining room of Patagonia. So that is the steps going up to Patagonia.
You are doing too much for an old lady, Diana. I mean, there's a limit to how much you and Chloe should be doing.
Oh, Chloe, does everybody know who Chloe is?
Ginsburg of mother-in-laws.
No,
So what,
So he just said I'm like a poodle.
Or Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, well, either case, it's pretty good.
well, honestly, I often pass Diana as she's walking around our complex and I said, how many steps do you have today? And she says, oh, 13,000. It's amazing.
She has more steps than I do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's silliness. It's
She has
I don't
nothing
even understand.
better to do.
We have
Nothing better to
We have
do.
enough. I just sent an email to our neighbor Dean, who invited me to the symphony tomorrow. I was so excited. The Chicago Symphony is wonderful, but it was some other group. And I said, Dean, I'm so excited about seeing you tomorrow at the symphony. And tell me where you want to have dinner, and I'll make a reservation. I'm sure we can get in. And I think he must have been stuttering when he read this email. He said, oh, I just realized you're kidding. I go, oh, he's been home too long.
so
Well,
what
go
states
ahead.
are you all in? What states, what part of the country are you all in?
All right,
I'm in
where
San
are you
Francisco.
first? Where are you first, Angela?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, you are. The weather's
Yeah.
nice.
Love
Well-
Phoenix.
The weather's hot right now.
Yeah.
we skipped spring and went right to summer. So,
Well, that is Phoenix after all.
yep.
I'll be there in November in Scottsdale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm North Phoenix, kind of Scottsdale, North Phoenix, Cave Creek area.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I
in
stay
San
in Kierland. Yeah.
I'm in San Francisco, but I used to have to go to Scottsdale every year around February, March, to write a travel story about what to do in Scottsdale for baseball, preseason
yeah.
baseball. And the funny thing is I've never actually been to spring training. I've always been there a month in advance to find out what there is to do for people who do go to spring training. So, you know,
One of
it's
Times of year for us here is the spring training months. So,
yeah. At least they got some of that in before everything went to hell, didn't it? Or yeah.
you know, maybe a little bit, but
Very.
those were one of the first things to kind of close down. So we're slowly starting to loosen a little bit, but we're still pretty much at home.
Sure.
Aren't they doing spring train? Aren't they going to do baseball again, but do it playing it from spring training camps or something? Or
They're talking about it.
Yeah.
all right, I mean that sounds like moving in the right direction.
Yeah, except that no offense to Florida or Arizona, but if all you do is play games there, it's hard for people to, I don't know, feel a sense of ownership when it comes to the games. But if that's the only way they can do it, and they're just going to televise empty stadiums anyway, I guess that might be the way to go.
Weird world in which we live in.
Mhm.
Can I show you what's in my SCOTTeVEST?
Sure.
Because I think that's the theme of this what is it?
It's stuff you can't travel, or stuff you can't travel without other than your SCOTTeVEST, because that's a given. It was your theme. You came up with it.
We can't hear her.
Yeah, well, it was his idea.
I forgot what the theme of the show was. Laura tells me the theme was stuff you can't travel without other than a SCOTTeVEST.
Oh, nice.
Things that were in addition to a SCOTTeVEST. I thought the theme I told Laura to do was, you know, things you carry in your SCOTTeVEST for a trip that you can't live without. So, you know.
Yeah, that's what you told me. And then I did my own thing.
I know you did. You often do your own thing. That's the problem.
I don't pay attention.
You
Well,
do not follow instructions. You are a very bad girl.
I seem to remember that we were also supposed to talk about one of our favorite SCOTTeVEST pieces, which is, quite frankly, since it's very warm in this room, the only reason I'm wearing this is for this. Was it the SJQ zip? And I love it. I've got, I think, 4 of them. You know, red, gray, whatever. They're starting to wear out a little bit. Or I'm just getting too big to wear them, one or the other. But those are my favorite ones. They've only got 2 pockets, so it's like the fewest pockets of any SCOTTeVEST thing. And yet, I love being able to put my keys or, you know, whatever in this pocket and the one on the side. And those are, I remember reviewing these when I was still at the Chronicle, and these were among my favorite things to take on a trip.
Well, I mean, they're quick drying, and I wear them every single day. Does he have an SJ? Do you prefer the bamboo cotton, or would you like the performance fabric? And did you get the PJs? Did we send them PJ?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, I got the PJs. The PJs are awesome.
Okay.
I love them because this was probably more information than you need to know. The only boxers I wear are yours. How often do you hear that? No.
A lot, to be honest with you. I honestly, people, and those are the most worst marketed products that we do, because they're game changing.
And I love them mostly just for the fabric, the breathability, everything like that. They're really durable. I don't think I've worn any other boxers over the last couple of years, at least last 3 or 4 years.
We're looking up your records now, and we see you only have purchased 1 pair. So, you know, it's a problem if you're the only boxers you wear are ours, and you only have 1 pair. You know, can you explain that, Spud?
Well, I believe somebody has sent me some that I didn't have to purchase on occasion. But yeah, I actually think I reviewed those too at one point. But I love the PJs because they're basically the boxers, only just a lot longer.
Yeah,
great.
no,
Yeah.
we're gonna do a sale on those, I think, pretty soon. So, well, because I'm confused, and I loaded up and was all nervous about, you know, making sure that I had a proper presentation. I just want to show you what I typically carry in my SCOTTeVEST. This is typical. This is not, you know, loaded up. This is, I just go for a walk. And what I'm wearing is the hoodie cotton edition. Yeah, this is actually a one of a kind, but, you know, from your purposes, it would look the same. But, you know, so I have power, you know, I never go anywhere without a little excess power. Of course, I have my cell phone, you know, here. Okay, then I keep my wallet in this pocket, and we have little hidden zippers, and this is pickpocket proof, and we have a guarantee that if you're pickpocketed while wearing a SCOTTeVEST, we will reimburse you.
Yeah.
Now, we've
Oh.
never had anyone make a claim on the pickpocket, because, you know, no one's going to get pickpocketed. So I keep my wallet in here. It's very convenient, and it's really important that you keep things in the same pocket all the time. Otherwise, you get confused. I have a mask, which I rarely wear, just to upset my mother-in-law. You know, it does smell nice, though. I never noticed that. Wow. I have my Apple EarPods here, and then I have a Frisbee for you know, Sabrina. Uh-oh. All right, she is asleep. She didn't respond at all. I usually would put my laptop in this big pocket as well, and then here I have, you know, my gimbal. You know, which is,
He really does carry this.
yeah, it's silliness that how much I carry. I have my eyeglass cleaner, you know, to go with my eyeglass chamois, you know, and a lot of people don't, carry all this, but they should, because they can. I've got a keychain here, and then here I've got a GoPro, because when it's not good enough just to take a picture there, or not a GoPro, a DJI Action, which is a really nice camera. I'm almost done. I've got my poop bags here. I never go out without a poop bag. That's not for me. I poop like a person. So, and then I have a wide angle lens, which is important. And then I have, I'm not done. I have some mints of some sort. I have chapstick of some sort. And then I have another set of AirPods, because I lose them, and in case they run out of batteries. That's what I carry. That's my story. So, all right, how'd I do?
Hey, Scott, I carry a camera too, but I haven't found one of your products that's quite ready for this. So
actually, you can. That's a 7200 lens.
Yeah, 7200 on a Canon D7.
Yeah.
Weighs about, I'm going to say, I don't know, 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds.
For the whole camera?
Well, I mean, for the lens and the camera and everything. It would probably be a little too much stress on the fabric, I'm guessing.
I can help you with that,
actually. Hey, Marco, how are you?
Okay, I'm good. You see this? Because you really can't see it, but this is
yeah.
Gosh.
2470 lens with the 5D Mark IV. I carry it in my Rev 2.0, so it fits in there, no problem.
Sweet.
It does. It can manage the weight, and it can fit, but it's awkward. I mean, it's big.
You have to lean to one side.
You want to take it off when you go to the doctor and make you step on the scale, because you'll have gained 15 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Scott, one thing that I used to tell people to do every so often, especially with like the Q-Zip, is I used to travel with a single thumb drive. This is just a plain old thumb drive. And I would put on PDFs of various documents that I knew I would need. And then I would basically take this, in order to keep it safe, just put it right in there and have that everywhere I went. So it would be things like PDFs of my passport, of my driver's license, of various other things. And having it right here in this, man, I knew nobody was ever going to be able to steal it, because they didn't, who would look for a wallet there or something like that. Yeah. And that was always one of my favorite things to do, to know that I would have all my documents with me.
Now, why wouldn't you just save those documents or take pictures of them on your phone?
Well, because one of the first things that, a thief is going to take when I get mugged in Chicago, which happens every other day, apparently.
Only to old ladies. Only to old ladies.
What's the first thing they take? It's either your wallet or your phone.
That's right.
And if I don't have my phone, I'm screwed. But if I have this, and maybe the laptop back at the room or whatever, or this and a coffee shop with a machine, I will always be able to check this out. It's just one of those things that the phone is gonna be a target, because it's like
that's still the case though, because I thought that because phones can be locked more readily, that's no longer an issue.
No.
Yeah, it happens regularly in San Francisco, if only because as a tourist destination, they know that if they steal your phone while you're looking at it, just snatch, jump in a car, and you're gone, you're less likely to press charges, because you're a foreign person who's not going to want to come back and deal with paperwork and things like that. So if you're a tourist somewhere, almost anywhere, it's not just San Francisco, but San Francisco is a tourist town, you really don't want to have that thing out for very long looking at it, because I'm doing a series of videos, how-to videos for San Francisco. And one of the things I'm going to do is take a stack of 20s. It'll actually only be a couple of 20s and a bunch of ones in between. Stack of 20s, and hold those out and go like this to them as an illustration of what your phone looks like to somebody who can just snatch that thing and jump in a car. you might as well just be holding $500 or $1,000 out in front of you when you're doing that. And people don't get that because they really can, especially if it's unlocked, snag that thing, they erase it right away, and they bulk erase it, and you say goodbye to it. And unless you have a good insurance plan on your phone, you're out of luck.
But it has to be unlocked. I mean, you're bringing an interesting, because Diana is always nervous. I thought just because she's old lady, but she's always nervous about people.
She's not an old lady.
No.
Wait, I have the band. Okay, I can show you what I wear. I have to stand up a little bit. I wear this. And then when I take my SCOTTeVEST, because otherwise I don't answer the phone because it's in the bottom of my purse that I don't carry anymore.
No, this is a major thing in Chicago. They drive around and they wait until they see someone on their phone not paying attention. They snatch the phone, they jump in the car, and they drive off.
Mm-hmm.
No, it happens.
Interesting, but you're telling me something that's fascinating is that they do it because they know it's unlocked with your facial recognition, and then they go to town, but they can't erase it. Seriously, you need a password to erase it. You need a lot of things. I thought phones were effectively, all the theft of phones went away once they started building in these preventive. My phone's worth nothing to someone.
I can't tell you technically, but why. But I've had friends who have lost phones by that drive-by, snatch and grab.
Yep.
All of the time, so they must be getting something out of it. I mean, criminals may not.
And it's, I hate to say it, Ginger, it's in our neighborhood. It's in 3 zip codes. It's in the downtown Gold Coast area. And I mean, there isn't a day that goes by that somebody's phone is not stolen. And the ladies do walk around with their phone, walking on their phone, talking on their phones on Michigan Avenue, on Rush Street. And that is not smart.
Scott?
Yes. Some people, it's everything. If you're on the phone and you're looking down and texting or whatever, you're a target for a thief. Yeah.
Scott, when I went around the world last year, I emailed myself and a family member those documents you talked about, or he talked about.
That's what I do.
I think that wouldn't that be equivalent to a thumb drive?
Yeah, I mean, that's
the thumb drive idea. I love that. What a great hint.
The
and
idea,
the pocket up there is a perfect place to put it because it's
because nobody's going to know
an
that.
Intimate spot.
I think there's a lot of ways now to store that information in the cloud. So this isn't as important as it used to be. However, if you don't have your phone and you don't carry your laptop with you, getting to the cloud is more
Good point.
harder. Whereas I can take this to the coffee shop or the internet cafe if there still are any internet cafes, and do that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to protect yourself. This was just one of my favorite, and especially when I'm wearing one of these, of which I said, like, I've got 4, although I may have to order one in a larger size.
It's just the perfect hint for both the SCOTTeVEST with that little pocket up there, because if nothing else, you could go to the embassy and there would be all of your papers. You don't have to have anything to just walk in with everything there.
Well, I'll tell you one of my other favorite tips. I used to do these 60-second travel tips for the Chronicles travel blog. And one of my favorite ones, if you like fairly easy, is, I don't know how well you can see this, but this is
found,
this is my lock screen. This has all the, this is my lock screen. And it means that somebody who can't get into my phone, so they have no way of telling me, of getting me my phone back, can read this and put the thing in the mail.
Oh.
What does this say, the very first top line?
It just says, it's hard to read because of the clock, but it just says, if found, please call, and the phone number, not this phone, but my wife's phone or home phone. And if you don't even have to like design this just write this on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and make it your lock screen.
Oh.
It's actually fairly simple.
That's actually the smartest thing I think you've ever
Fairly
said.
simple, but genius.
Well, that bar isn't very high.
That's a great idea. I love this group. I'm going to have to leave, but I just think,
He's going to Mahjong.
yeah,
Ah,
I just
right.
think it's such a helpful thing, and I just thank you for letting me be a part, and I hope you continue it.
Before you go
Absolutely.
away, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Were you mugged yesterday?
I've never been mugged, but and I'm not afraid. Diana and I live so well within the city. We're very aware, any new thing about not being on your phone, we take to heart, just like we did this pandemic.
It's just the flu.
But I've never gotten
Yeah.
mugged, but I think, part of it is just chance, but part of it is also just being aware, and so
All
we've
right.
never been mugged so far.
Well, I was just worried because if people get mugged every other day, then today's your day.
I'm quarantined inside, so I'll skip my day. So I thank you all. I hope I'll join you again.
Thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
Ginger.
Bye.
I am.
Bye.
Thank you.
Actually, it would be handy if you know your day to not carry anything that day.
Exactly.
You know, you just put it on your calendar. Oh, I have an appointment to get mugged today, so I'm not gonna take my phone.
So Angela, you're new to this group. So are you a SCOTTeVEST?
I honestly just discovered it probably maybe December, January, I can't remember. We were supposed to take a trip to France in March. We canceled it the day before, postponed it the day before, just because everything kind of
Oh, really? Like the day before? Wow.
yeah, literally, we were supposed to leave on March 3rd, and we postponed March 2nd. Just kind of became too risky for us.
And it's
but
really good you did, because I know people who had to pay thousands of dollars to get home.
Yeah, we were actually supposed to return on March 13th, which was the day that they were ending the flight. So, we were kind of sad we had to do it. I'm like, and I pretty much made the call, and I felt bad, but then, later on, I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad we decided to postpone. So we've postponed until the end of September.
So do you have a brand new SCOTTeVEST sitting in your closet waiting for a trip?
I do. I bought a pair of the Margot cargo pants, and that's how I discovered SCOTTeVEST, and I absolutely love them. For the practicality piece, but also they are the darndest, cutest pants in my closet. So I was really looking forward to taking them on the trip, and I kind of planned a wardrobe around them, and I ended up doing a quick little, just kind of for fun, video about how they were the perfect social distancing pants, because there's a pocket for the sanitizer and for the.
Will you send that to me, please?
I'll send it to you. There's a pocket for my mask. When I'm sitting at home on the couch, I can stick the remote in the long pocket, and just snacks, all kinds of stuff. But
I would absolutely love to use that if you don't mind. It's scott@scottevest.com. That would be
okay. Yeah, I'll send it. But so that's how I discovered it, and that's how I think when I got the shipment, there were some cards that had the website and the Facebook group. So I'm like, oh, I'll jump on and see what it's about. We're fairly new to a lot of the travel, just since our kids all left home just about the last 5 years. But we're really enjoying it. So we're always looking for things that make travel easier and more convenient. And so we've done many trips at this point, but we're still kind of new to living life as very frequent travelers.
Well, do a Google search for Spud Hilton, and you'll find just a ton of information that will be very entertaining and help you, experience your travels once we're all.
Awesome. I do have one thing that I travel with all the time that is not my pants, because I haven't traveled with those yet. But I always travel with a little bag of Fisherman's Friends throat lozenges. And one, because they're awesome if if you're congested or get a little scratchy in your throat. But a couple years ago, we were in Iceland and we were on a group tour, and we traveled in one of those smaller buses. And there was a woman who got on the bus and sat right in front of me. We were in the very back, but I think she had had a combination of drinking all night and maybe like the most garlicky kind of pad thai food or something. But she was right in front of me, and I was really struggling. So when we got off at one of the stops, I bought a thing of the Fisherman's Friends throat lozenges, not for her, because I thought that might be rude to offer her something, but I actually took one of them and it blocked out every.
Yes.
So now every time we travel, I carry a thing of the Fisherman's Friends throat lozenges.
Yeah, menthol covers a lot of sins.
Mhm.
They cover other people's sins too.
That's great.
So that's my can't live without travel story.
Laura and I actually had spec'd out a complete line of business for travel snacks, candy. That it was really clever. Come over here and try to explain.
Because when you travel, you can't always control when you can get something to eat or drink, and you end up with bad taste in your mouth or whatever. And I remember one time we were in Carmel with the poodles at that big poodle event. And we walked into the hotel and they had just a dish of candy on the counter. And being able to get a hard candy, I was like, wait a minute, we need to make this and market it, because to be able to just have those on you at all times.
And
then we were gonna
just
package them
specifically for
gifts,
travel.
but just to always have.
And I always get panicked if I don't eat
panic,
at
the likes of
a timely fashion. So, you
changed your color. It's not red anymore.
What my what?
You're.
Oh, I probably because I didn't
Yeah.
have the background. Yeah,
Yeah, but Scott has horrible food panic.
yeah.
Like, horrible.
If I don't eat by within 2 hours of lunchtime, it's horrible. I'm curious. Do you think there's anything to that, Spud? A travel, a candy snack? No. All right.
Well, no, actually, what I was thinking was you guys need to market a wedding crasher or banquet crasher jacket that has, big gallon containers, Ziploc containers sewn in, so that, when you go to the buffet, you can just load up on stuff in your jacket. I think that'd be great.
That'd be a funny little viral video. There was a guy who did a viral video for BBC. He was checking out at the grocery store, and they asked him if he wanted to spend $1 for the bag, and he's like, $1 for a bag? No, and he starts loading it got millions of views.
That was a great video.
Yeah, we should make one of those ourselves, in fact. We're making forward progress. You guys might remember from a couple of weeks ago, I forgot who it was that held up, what was his name? Dale held up these little pockets, from Ex Officio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I thought it was a dumb idea and almost told him as much.
No, it wasn't a dumb idea. I've got a box of those little things.
You do?
Yeah, I've got of little pouches and whatnot. And
is this the RFID thing, or what are these?
Not necessarily, but it could be.
But we're now designing a whole line of them. We've already got sketches, and
we're
on it.
They're basically to-go pockets. They're not purses, they're not cases, they're little cubes. I always have a tough time explaining it. So
we're doing two different kinds. We're doing packing pockets that, like, for air travel to go in your luggage, and then along those lines of the packing, we're also going to do road trip ones, because we notice, like, when we go on a road trip, we'll pack a bag, and then we end up with all of these, like, grocery bags and things thrown in the car full of odds and ends. So then we're going to create packing pockets that just can keep that organized, because our stuff's always rolling under seats, falling out of these open bags, making a mess. But then we're going to do what we're calling pocket in pockets. All these little pouches with different purposes. Some will be water stain repellent, so you can put sanitizer, sunscreen, things like that in them. And those will work within your SCOTTeVEST pockets.
Oh.
So we're also using some of our own features already, like, where we've got detachable keychains. Some of these that you don't want floating around, you can just hook it onto the keychain.
And it'll
things
be
like
branded as a Pockets Go or Pockets to Go, and
Yeah.
just another way to touch the brand in a course in a meaningful way.
Yeah,
So.
and of course, more than just open pouches, we're doing, ones with compartments in them so you can stay organized.
That's
Within
the
your
story.
pocket. That's the story.
Did we lose someone?
I don't know.
Oh, hello?
Well, Karen is there. Karen, say hello.
It's kind of loud here, so I've kept myself on mute. We're on a boat trip, so.
Oh,
Where are you? I hear
Well,
someone's on a trip. I want to go. I want to go.
We're socially distancing. So we're going to Santa Rosa Island. It's off of Santa Barbara, California.
What kind of boat? Show us your boat.
Ooh, well, let's see. It is a 42-foot Californian. Let's see. See the boat here.
Wow.
Cool.
Got a little bit of fog going on.
Nice.
Daddy and Dad.
It looks
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you don't want to drop it overboard, but we got a little fog.
That looks nice. 42, that's a good sized boat.
Yeah.
When it's nice, we dive off the top floor.
It's really nice to hear somebody's getting out because
Yes.
it's a little depressing to not be for so long.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So,
So,
are you going any place in particular or just cruising?
Santa Rosa Island. So my parents this club called All 8. So they've been to all 8 Channel Islands off of California, and I am trying to go south. There are 2 islands that are very difficult to get to because they're owned by our military. And so I went to San Nicolas last fall, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get to San Clemente, but it's a challenge that I'm up for. So.
How cool.
Is that a prison?
San Clemente? No, San Clemente Island. It's down,
No.
what is it? South of Santa Catalina Island. Which you may know.
Cool.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh,
We
I
wish
love
we
your
were on
little
the
pocket
boat.
ideas. That you have, that you're talking about putting a way to either clip them onto your keychain or clip them onto some kind of a, something like this. I don't know. You can't see it. Anyway, something you can clip onto so that it doesn't get lost. Like I have, like in your pockets, in your jackets, where you clip your keys onto something so they don't, wander away. So I think that's a great idea. So,
well,
thanks. I think I'm going to do now because I'm sure it's really loud and annoying to you guys.
The connection isn't that great, but we appreciate you joining in by all means. So I also have another question. Everyone knows we're opening up our retail store, and virtually and otherwise, we're actually allowed to physically have a retail store here, although there's not a lot of people in town in terms of tourists and customers. We're gonna give it our college try, we're trying to reposition the brand and trying to understand how people are going to be changing their lifestyle and travel, and it seems like we're uniquely set up to do this. I know before the pandemic hit, I remember Spud and I talking about leisure vacations and all sorts of, we have to change. I wrote all those ideas down. They're all meaningless now, partially, but does there any way come to mind how we get the word out that the best clothing or art that you need in this pandemic quarantine world, from a month or 2 months, a year from now, is a SCOTTeVEST? I mean, I know the reasons why, and we all do. You have more pockets, but how do we properly get that out without appearing too opportunistic? Which is not what I want.
One of the things that I think is really kind of apparent right now, there's so many people thinking about So kind of, I don't know what necessarily want to say the minimalist mentality, but there's so many excess things that we carry with us all the time. Having the, I think this brand fits really well with the idea of paring down everything you have to carry along with you, because you're not technically you're carrying it along, but you're not taking excess baggage with you. And I think we're kind of in a time right now where people are getting rid of, I think that's a good word for it, excess baggage.
Mhm.
And the vest is one, or the pants or whatever piece of clothing is that one thing that helps you get rid of excess baggage.
Laura's writing it down. We like that.
Yeah, it also has, I mean, as people are getting rid of excess clothes, I mean, I'm going through my closet and trying to get rid of things. One of those things that I judge on whether or not to get rid of something is not just, do I wear it, but does it have a second purpose?
Yes.
Does it serve a purpose beyond just keeping me warm or looking fashionable or whatever? And that helps in that sense. I think one thing I might say, Scott, is when I'm packing for a trip, I basically say, okay, am I going to be able to buy something there? And therefore, do I need to take everything? Or do I need to take everything? I mean, let's put it this way. If I know I'm staying in downtown Chicago, I'm not going to take all of the essentials and everything else.
Because you don't want to get mugged.
Well, I don't want to get
Right.
mugged, but I know I can also pop into any drugstore and pick up something. I think people are going to be taking more trips to places where there isn't a corner drugstore. People are going to be taking more road trips. People are going to be taking more national parks. People are going to be going to other places, which means they might be taking a few more things that maybe they don't know if they can get when they get there. I can't think of a specific on that, but basically by going out to places where there are fewer people means there are probably fewer services. People are going to be a little more shy about going into stores that they don't know anything about. So maybe they'll be carrying a few more things with them when they travel.
That's really helpful. There's a guy who has a website called onebag.com. Doug Dynamat or something, and it's got tremendous traffic, and I wanted to partner with him, because it seemed to be very apropos. And he's like, no, we're about one bag, not one bag and a SCOTTeVEST. I'm like, you don't need the bag if you have enough of your stuff in the SCOTTeVEST. And he thought it was superfluous. And by the way, before I forget, I know you know Spud, Chris Elliott, or I suspect you do. Yeah, he's a friend in the travel business. Well, he got stuck in France. He's just getting back now. I mean, he's been there for 6-8 weeks.
Wow.
I can think of worse places to be, but
no, that's not good to be there.
But I do love what Spud. This is why I love it. You should probably rename this a little bit to be like, the think tank, or express ideas on, share ideas on travel, and SCOTTeVEST to help us. I'm still struggling. What is the headline? What is it? What do you tell a friend? When you want to describe why you need a SCOTTeVEST in this post-pandemic world, or we're still in the pandemic world.
Scott?
Yeah.
Well, here's a.
Go ahead, David.
Scott, what do you think? I promise I don't think that you're opportunistic. What's your insight or intuition on why people should have a SCOTTeVEST during the pandemic?
Well, my initial response is because I need the business. And I have to reinvent my business to, give people a reason why they need to spend their money. It's going to be hard to convince people. I think a lot of the reasons, Spud, you mentioned are spot on, although I couldn't have articulated them.
Well, I was reading an article online about a week or so ago. Emirates Air is no longer allowing carry-on luggage. And as somebody who one bag travels or one bag and small purse travels, having a lot of stuff on me wouldn't count as a carry-on.
Correct.
From an Emirates point of view, but I would still be able to have my medicine, my wallet, my change of clothes if I miss a connection and all that stuff on me. And I fear that that other airlines might go to that, because if you have a lot of excess stuff outside, like a purse and a laptop bag, then that's more stuff that could be contaminated and that you would have to disinfect. And if it can all live in a pocket on my body, there's a less likely chance of it getting contaminated or being contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that holds true, just even not as carry-on luggage, but going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I know our store here now, you're not allowed to bring outside bags in.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, even all the
Oh,
environmentalists
oh.
have to use their plastic bags right now. They don't allow anything to be brought into the store. We've talked to a lot of women who are no longer carrying purses because you don't want to contaminate or potentially be contaminated. So having it all on your body, and just the fact that we all have to carry more now. I mean, I've always worn our clothes every day because I've always got poop bags and, my basic dog stuff. But now I've got a scarf on me because I use that instead of a mask. And, people are carrying gloves, sanitizer, wipes, all these, there's just more to carry. And it's not just even when you go out. I mean, we live upstairs and I come down to the office, but since things loosened up, we have people doing construction on the store. So now that there are people in the building, when I walk down a flight of stairs from our apartment to our office on this floor, I go immediately to the bathroom and wash my hands because I've touched doorknobs in the hallway. And you have to, if I didn't have a sink here, I would have needed sanitizer and, things to do like that. So even when you're inside, you need more.
Jim Louderback, who's usually on these calls as well, came up with a slogan when I did post this kind of idea to Facebook. He says, SCOTTeVEST for life.
Yeah.
As a slogan.
Well, I can tell you, as somebody who's I'm the oldest one here, I have always carried a purse. Purse is and Laura used to be, when she was little, she was the purse queen. I'm the purse queen. I have a purse that I have not had out of the house in 7 weeks. I have little bags that I put in my SCOTTeVEST, and it has my driver's license, my social, it has all my cards in a little thing. I have my credit card in the back of my phone. I can put a credit card and I have a $20 bill in there. And I don't carry cash because I only use my credit card. And I cannot believe I have gone without a purse for 7 weeks.
I think
I'm
lot
watching some of my friends that I have told this to, and they said, that's such a good idea. Pickpockets don't come up to me. Sorry.
Yeah, you aren't going to carry a purse. You need more pockets.
That's correct. I do. And now I finally gotten to learn to use the SCOTTeVEST. I put I put my little things in the same pocket every time so I don't get confused.
Yes.
Do you think that people are not going to be focused on appearances quite as much?
Correct.
That the function's going to drive their buying decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's important to look at, because whenever we would do our about every 2-3 years we would do our packing issue at the Chronicle, and one year somebody pointed out that because it was mostly men writing this thing, we were being stupid about what women pack versus what men pack. And when I brought up SCOTTeVEST as a thing and told, asked this one woman in our fashion department to write the sort of women's side of this, I gave her the SCOTTeVEST, and she looked at it and said, oh no, anything that makes me look wider, I am not wearing. So that was then, and I don't know if that's still going to be the case. But
I think that things have changed. And when I wear my Scotty vest, I'm finding I carry less. I carry the essentials. I'm now never buying another lipstick because I wear a mask when I'm out and I don't want to get the lipstick on all my masks. So, I think we are reducing what we carry at every age, and women's are especially
Like
thinking
women's
this over.
fashion, like any kind of like high fashion clothes either have no pockets or they've got pockets that are completely unusable because they ruin the lines of the garment. And I do think, there's always going to be a group of people who care more about how it looks. But if you can't carry a purse, you can't carry a bag, you still need stuff. You might have to give up the lines of the garment a little and use pockets.
Well, I want to, it's 12:02 and I want to stick to a schedule on these because we could meander for hours. So if anyone has anything that they want to conclude with, otherwise I look forward to whoever wants to join us next week. It was an enjoyable conversation. Spud, we're sending you more underwear because we checked and you've only gotten 2 free pair of underwear and you bought 1. So that's,
well, and thank you very much for putting me in the, featuring me in the newsletter, because I actually checked the stats and my podcast, the Inappropriate Traveler podcast, got a spike thanks to you guys.
Right.
So
we'll
appreciate that.
We'll feature you again as well. And
happy Mother's Day, all.
Thank you.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, Mom, who's having Mother's Day by herself on Sunday.
we're doing
he invited me to a party.
Oh, I know we're Zooming, but you're not
going
to be with you.
All right. Well,
Bye.
thanks again for having this. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.